I've done is simply repeat what I have read. And as I always take great pains to protect people's privacy and their identity, even though they're writing under their own names and saying so. I have not mentioned any names. I know how volatile the subject is. But I do a 3-hour radio program. That's a lot of content that exists here. And there are many, many days where that content yearns to be discussed. So I do. Now, one of the reasons that I usually do not mention these kind of things is because there's a theory. Oh, wow, Limbaugh must really be upset now he's talking about it. No, they must have really hit a home run. Limbaugh must really be in favor. No, it's not that at all. It's just, I'm sick and tired of being lied about and misrepresented when the people doing it know. They know I am not in favor of secession. They cannot find a single quote of mine where I'm in favor of it. So let's go to the audio soundbites. I'll show you what it is. We put together a montage here from last Wednesday and Thursday. And I'm not going to mention the names of the doofuses in this montage, but here is how it sounded elsewhere in the media last Wednesday and Thursday.
Rush Limbaugh now he's denying that he was actually in favor of secession, but he's playing with fire.
Rush Limbaugh talking about secession.
Rush Limbaugh trial ballooning civil war or secession.
They're calling for military action. We've seen Rush Limbaugh do this.
No, you haven't.
The godfather of this sort of political rhetoric, introduced it and then said, oh, I was just talking about it.
Secession is treason. Rush Limbaugh, that talk is reckless, it's irresponsible.
It is reckless and irresponsible. I never suggested it. I'm simply telling you what other people are saying. And no, I'm not going to quote these other people, but they know who they are. You know, I find it fascinating when this kind of stuff happens. This is by no means the first time I have been accused of saying something where I have simply been repeating what I've said or seen other people say. And they do not step forward and raise their hands and say, I said it, I'm the one that said it. They're out there hiding, but they know who they are. Okay, so that's one montage. Then Thursday night on Fox, this is the story with Martha McCallum. She had Geraldo. The Grim Reaper showed up. You know, when Geraldo shows up, somebody's going to die or has died. And she was talking to Geraldo about my comments that the United States may be heading toward secession. So to set things up, here she is introducing and playing an audio clip of mine.
Even Rush Limbaugh warning that he thinks we might be headed in a dangerous direction, an actual separation of the states.
I actually think that we're trending toward secession. Can't go on this way. There cannot be a peaceful coexistence of two completely different theories of life, theories of government, theories of how we manage our affairs. We can't be in this dire a conflict without something giving somewhere along the way.
That's a profound and challenging statement for our nation right now.
Well, it's a profound and challenging statement because all kinds of people are talking about it. And by the way, have been writing about it for a number of multiple weeks. This is not anything that's actually even new. Yeah, I actually think we might be trending toward it. I said that because I'm reading about it. I'm reading people who, by the way, I've quoted before on this program and who I respect. They're out there saying it. They're out there suggesting. And by the way, when they say it, they don't just say it. They back it up with their own theories of why. And I'm fascinated when they write it on their blog. Nobody writes about it. Nobody says, hey, did you see what was said on the such and such blog? No. They wait till I repeat it and then somehow claim it originated with me. So after she set that up, she then went to the Grim Reaper, Geraldo Rivera, for his reaction.
Talk of secession is treason, Martha. Rush Limbaugh is a powerhouse broadcaster. He's one in a zillion. They come along once a generation. But that talk is reckless. It's irresponsible. We are one nation, indivisible. I had a laugh. Rush goes on to say that people where he is have no idea what people in New York are thinking. They're so different. They're like a different species. Half of New York lives in Florida, where Rush Limbaugh lives. It's preposterous. Leaders who accentuate the differences and exacerbate the divide are themselves as responsible?
I didn't accentuate or exacerbate it at all. I didn't originate it. It's something that is out there and being discussed by others. Now, here's Martha McCallum reacting to the Grim Reaper.
That's a strong charge, and it is, as I said, it's a discussion that I think is being had in a lot of places. There's a piece by the Claremont Institute recently called The Separation, which talks about this. I mean, nobody wants this to be the case, and I'm sure that Rush doesn't want secession to be where the country is headed.
Of course not. But see, she found that she's willing to quote a place that talked about it, The Separation. That's from the Claremont Institute. The Claremont Institute is a very highly reputed conservative think tank and library. I mean, it is a library of conservative philosophy and thought. And they are discussing it there. So Martha did something that nobody else in the media did. She went out and actually listened to this program, and she found an audio soundbite of me that is appropriate to use and fits based on what all had been discussed on our program. So the comments prior to this were Thursday night. On Friday, she played a clip. Now imagine if the rest of the media cared about getting things right, she wouldn't be the only one to have found this.
This is Rush Limbaugh, because last night Geraldo sort of went after him for talking about the secession statement. I just want to play this real quick for everybody at home.
I simply referenced what I have seen other people say about how we are incompatible as currently divided, and that secession is something that people are speculating about. I am not advocating it, have not advocated it, never have advocated it, and probably wouldn't.
Just wanted to square the circle on that and make sure that we gave Rush his due by playing that part of it.
So thank you, Martha, for the deep digging into the archives of the program to find something that was readily available for anybody that wanted to find it. Now, I don't expect this to change anything. Like, what's going to happen is that these same critics, see, we got him. We caught Rush. Rush knows he's going to, because he's trying to change what he said. They're totally distort the whole thing again, because I represent the opposition. I am the opposition. If you somehow come along and damage my credibility, then they think they've damaged the credibility of the entire opposition and so forth, which is why all of this stuff happens. There's one more. I think I have one more, maybe two. Maybe a couple more. This is from Sunday morning on Meet the Depressed. During the roundtable, and a discussion about people on the right talking about secession, and the moderator is F. Chuck Todd. He's talking to the Hoover Institute senior fellow, Lonnie Chen, who said this.
Rush Limbaugh, the godfather of this sort of political rhetoric that we're dealing with these days, also introduced it and then said,
Wait a minute. Stop. The godfather of what? The godfather of this political rhetoric that we are talking about these days. The godfather of this political. All right, well, here, cue it back up to the top. Listen, I promise I won't interrupt the soundbite again. Here we go.
Rush Limbaugh, the godfather of this sort of political rhetoric that we're dealing with these days, also introduced it and then said, I was just talking about it.
Talk about secession and the like is nonsense, and it's dangerous. You talk about going against federalism, going against the notion that you should ask the judiciary to be activist in overturning the will of the people. I mean, these are the kinds of things, Chuck, growing up in the Republican Party, to me, would have been fundamentally offensive. But you've got a bunch of people who are out there making this crazy argument, essentially to politically appease one man and to politically appease their electorate instead of explaining to them, hey, look, here's the reason why this is madness.
Why, what is madness? I'm not sure I know what Lonnie Chen is talking about here. I always thought the Hoover Institute was a conservative place. But it seems that they're getting rid of all the conservative thinking out there and replacing it with a bunch of rhino-type thinking. At least that's what it seems to me. At any rate, this is the same people who lied about Russian collusion and Trump stealing the election in 2016. The same people lying about me now. So that's that. I just wanted to set the record straight.